There's one. First pontoon I skipped under, and it's a big one.
Good morning and welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to do the ultimate test against two of the most popular baits of all time to determine which one is the best bait. Those two baits being Gary Yamamoto OG Senko, probably one of the best baits of all time, up against the Googan baits Lunker Log, probably one of the most popular baits going right now. We're gonna have three criteria today to determine which one is the best bait. The first one being price. The second one is going to be durability of the baits. And the third one is going to be how many fish the bait catches. So today's challenge, what we're gonna do is fish for an hour and a half with each bait, one at a time, and see how many fish each bait catches and how many baits we go through within that hour and a half time period. The winner will be determined by which bait catches the most fish. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video. We will be giving away a prize pack from today's video. I'll explain how to win that later, but we'll be giving away both the baits from today's video, also some hooks to be able to fish this yourself, and even the wacky rig tool to do everything we're gonna do in today's video. Let's get the rod rigged up, let's get the boat in the water, and let's start determining who is really the better Senko style bait. Before we get started fishing, let's talk some price. Both these baits were purchased at Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm keeping it equal by buying both baits at the same place. For a pack of Lunker Logs, we paid $6.99 per bag, and there's 8 baits in a bag. That brings the total to 87 cents per worm. And for a 10 count bag of Yamamoto Senkos, we paid $8.99 per bag. That brings the total to about 90 cents per bait. So the Lunker Logs are actually 3 cents cheaper per bait, but realistically, that's not much of a saving. We're about tied on price there. So the real determining factor is going to be how many fish do they catch and how durable are they. So let's go fishing and see what happens. We'll meet you at the first spot and we'll get this challenge started.
We're actually going to start with the Lunker Log. I've actually never fished a Lunker Log. I've only ever used the Gary Yamamoto Senkos, but I'm pretty picky when it comes to a wacky rig. Really like my Gary Yamamoto Senkos, but the way we have set this challenge up, I cannot be biased. If this catches more fish and is more durable, then the Lunker Log is going to be the winner. So we're going to find out. Just have it rigged on the basic wacky rig. This is a size 2 Nico weedless hook, and then I have an O-ring, 8-pound fluorocarbon leader to a 15-pound test braid main line. I use lime green so I can see it really well skipping around these docks. 2500 size Shimano Sedona. This is a custom rod that I built myself specifically for fishing wacky rigs. Has that purple reel seat, some purple accents, looks pretty sharp. Let's put an hour and a half on the timer. Time starts now. There's one. First pontoon I skipped under, and it's a big one. Oh, on the Lunker Log. Oh, it's a big one. They're still on the pontoon bite. Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Come on. We'll just net her. There we go. First one. That was literally 1 minute and 28 seconds. And I still have my bait, but that is a big largemouth for this lake. We're gonna let her go, get back to fishing, and see what we can catch with the Lunker Log some more. There she goes. So right out of the gate, I am absolutely surprised with the durability on this bait. It has the same fall rate. It even feels like a Yamamoto Senko. It has some weight to it. It actually held up with that first fish already. There's one. Oh, you, come on. Oh my gosh, that's a giant smallmouth over there. Lead him. He went right for it. That was about a 5-pound smallmouth that just swam out underneath this pontoon boat. Completely ignored my worm after I hooked him. My first Lunker Log has had enough. I caught 1 fish on it. I had 2 other bites, and I've hit a lot of docks and snagged a lot of docks. Went through some stuff. We're gonna put another one on and keep going. Got him that time. Little guy. It's actually bigger than I thought. Come here, buddy. About a 2-pounder, maybe a 1.5 pounds. Looks like the Lunker Log held up again. We're gonna go ahead and let her go and try and catch some more. See you, buddy. So I chose to test these two baits against each other on a wacky rig for 2 reasons. The main thing is that you'll be able to tell the quality of a Senko really good on a wacky rig. If you don't have enough salt, the Senko is made with too stiff of plastic, you'll know it on a wacky rig because you will catch no fish. It is very important to have that shimmy to it, but also has enough salt to sink fast enough. And the other reason is it shows the durability of the bait to the best of its ability because you only have a hook right in the middle, so they tend to rip the easiest on a wacky rig. We got about 45 minutes left. We're not going to count moving against the bait time. We're going to pause it, make a little move, and we'll start the timer again once we hit the next spot. There's one. and he's stuck. Come on, buddy. There we go. Got him. Little one. Still have my same lunker log, so that's 2 fish now on this lunker log. Not a keeper, so we won't even weigh him, but we'll throw him back. Try and get some bigger ones. All right, we're 2 lunker logs down now. That one just broke in half weirdly up here. I think that was from like getting stuck on a dock or something. I pray I got this fish catch on camera for my own sanity, but we just caught a 4-pounder out from underneath that pontoon boat right there. This is a pretty big fish for this lake, but we're gonna go ahead and let her go. There she goes. Swim right back to the dock she came from. So we caught that one on the lunker log. We now have 4 fish on the lunker log with 15 minutes left to go. And that one, again, did not tear the bait off from the O-ring. So I don't think I got that fish catch on camera, which is really disappointing because that thing was a tank and it was an awesome fight up underneath that dock trying to get it out. When I looked down, my GoPro was off. See when we go to edit, but at least you got to see we caught a big one on the lunker log there. I just casted that lunker log off. One problem that I typically have with a Senko, didn't see it happen yet on the lunker log, but also did just catch a 4-pounder on that same bait. That is gonna do it for the lunker log. Hour-and-a-half time, we caught 4 fish. We went through 4 Senkos. The 5th one was on the hook. That one didn't come off. I did lose 1 in a snag, and 3 others I either casted off or they broke after catching fish and then casting them at a bunch of docks afterwards. None of the Senkos broke off during catching a fish. We'll see if that's something that happens with the Yamamoto Senkos. We're gonna move to a different spot, throw another hour-and-a-half on the timer, and we're gonna see if we can beat 4 fish and also test the durability of the Yamamoto Senko. We're gonna move spots and we'll see you there. All right, another hour-and-a-half on the timer. Time starts now. We got one. Not a big one, but that's a fish. He barely fought at all. It was like reeling in nothing. We caught a fish on pretty much our first cast with each bait so far. I don't know if it's just good decisions or what's going on, but that is the first one on the Yamamoto Senko. Bait's still on there, but that was a small fish and he wasn't hooked on the outside. Throw him back and keep going. So far, seems pretty equal. There's one, and it's a big one. He's not that big. Got him. So we are 8 minutes into the Yamamoto Senko and we already have 2 fish, 1 small one, 1 decent one, and I still have my original bait that I started with. This might be a showdown for the Googan Baits lunker log, but we'll see. This one went slightly over 2 pounds. We're gonna go ahead and let her go and see if there's a fish in that pontoon boat since we just caught one on that one. See you, girl. All right, so we were already down our first Gary Yamamoto Senko. I did catch 2 fish on it, which is a shocker. It did rip pretty quickly. That was probably only about 10 minutes I fished with that bait. Granted, I did catch fish in those 10 minutes, but I only fished about 10 minutes with that bait. And it probably would have done the same thing if I didn't catch any fish at all. All right, we are now down 2 Senkos, and we did not catch a fish on this one at all, but it's all tore up. Can't fish it anymore. It's gonna fly off as soon as I cast it, so we'll grab a new one. I think I just had a bite under this dock, so we'll see if we can get her a bite. I'm not gonna lie, when I started out 10 minutes, caught 2 fish and still was on the same Senko, I thought this was gonna be a blowout on the Googan Baits lunker log. I have not had another bite except for some like rock bass or bluegills. I've gone through 2 or 3 Senkos since then without even catching a fish, so we're gonna make a little move, try and catch some fish somewhere else and see what we can do. What? Oh, I did have a bite and he ripped my worm straight off. So we're gonna get another one on and toss it back under there. I'm struggling today, guys, but I just caught about a 10-inch smallmouth. Nothing big. It was on the Yamamoto Senko. That makes it 3-4 against the Googan Baits lunker logs. Now, while I did catch that smallmouth and it added a fish to the leaderboard on the Yamamoto Senko, he did rip my bait in half. I did catch only 1 fish on that Yamamoto Senko and it ripped. To be expected from a Yamamoto Senko. That's kind of how they are. We'll see if we can get 1 more to tie it up, and then 2 more would take the lead. There we go. That's a decent one. Come here, buddy. Yes. decent fish, not a giant by any standard. We've been catching some nice quality up here shallow so far. Hook fell right out. Still have my Senko. It looks like we might be able to still fish that. We'll give it a shot. So that's almost a 2.5 pounder right there. We have 25 minutes left for the Yamamoto Senko. One more fish with the Yamamoto Senko and it takes the lead over Googan baits. So we're gonna go ahead and throw her back and keep trying to catch another one. There she goes. Oh, that was the leading fish right there. There it is. It feels big. Come on. Come on. Oh, he's decent. He's not that big, actually. He felt way bigger than he is. That is number 5 over the Googan bait. But he did rip that Senko in half, so that is no good to fish with anymore. That's another 2 pounder. We're gonna go ahead and let him go and try and catch a couple more. See you, dude.
But that's gonna do it for the challenge today. We finished with 5 fish on the Yamamoto Senkos and 4 fish on the Googan Squad Lunker logs. As for usage of baits, we used 7 Yamamoto Senkos. There's still 1 on my hook, so say 6. And we used 5 Lunker logs. There was still 1 on the hook when we finished, and I lost 1 to a snag. So that's 3. Double the amount of baits we went through on the Gary Yamamoto Senkos. We caught 1 more fish, and these are 3 cents cheaper than the Yamamoto Senkos. To be honest, it's a pretty fair comparison. They're almost exactly the same. They both work equally as well. I will continue to use both of these baits as long as I fish. They both work awesome. We caught 9 or 10 bass already today. Now, as for the giveaway, I know you guys want to win some free baits. I'm going to be giving away a pack of each of these, as well as the hooks and the wacky rig tool. All you have to do to enter, go down below, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and comment the next challenge you want to see me do, whether it's a bait versus a bait or whatever you want to see me do. You just have to put a comment suggestion on a next challenge you want to see. Once we hit 200 likes, I'll pick a random comment and they'll be the winner of the baits. So go ahead down below and do that so you can get a chance to win some free baits at the end of this video. It was a ton of fun for me to do. I really enjoyed it. Something different than just going out there and fishing and doing something plain, just like me fishing and then putting it on YouTube. It's cool to put them up side by side, and honestly, they're a pretty fair comparison. If you enjoyed these challenge videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. There'll be some more coming in addition to some other fishing tips that I also put out on YouTube. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and thanks for watching.